So, Elissa, we know that you have a lot to share with us today, so let's get right into it. I know that you have four patterns that
Yes,
recently
ma'am.
came out, and we would love for you to tell us more about all of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon. I would love to share more about them. So recently, you and I had the opportunity to be at Quilt Market together in Houston at the beginning of October. And as you said, we talked a lot about the patterns and length. So go back and take a look at that. Check the comments if you have questions that are there. Chances are they've been answered for you. So I'm going to do a quick run through on those. So my four patterns that I released are in collaboration with byannie.com. If there's bag makers out there, you're very familiar with Annie. You know that I love to make a bag. I love by Annie patterns. Annie and I really align as educators and making sure that we're really using our patterns to educate, to make sure that we're inspiring makers to build on their existing skill set, learn something new, take it back out into your community and share that with others. So that was one of the reasons that the collaboration with Bianni was great. So I want to give a little bit of background on that to start with. So the first pattern that we're going to start with is the Bella Quilt Coat. And this is what she looks like.
Very nice.
The coat has been in progress for several years. The first version of it actually was for the Everglow Influencer Tour that we did way back in January of 2023. And I wanted to make a quilt coat in the worst way. My background is in garment making. I came into quilting during COVID, found this wonderful community, and thought this is fantastic. I get to take what I love to make in garments and take my quilting, and now I can combine them together and show off the gorgeous fabrics by Tula Pink. So as you know, I love Tula. I'm surrounded by her, all of the things, all of the beautiful fabric. She inspires me to just kind of let my imagination let loose. Like there's no rules. I love her fabrics because they are beautiful and they're absolute color story, which color just lights up my world. So I really was always drawn to her fabrics because of the color and the intense artistry that she just exudes and pours into her fabrics. Her pure joy and excitement. She's hilarious. She's just a lovely person, as you know, everyone is from Team Tula. So that's what inspires me, when I'm selecting or when I want to make something. So on the vein of the quilt coat, I knew that I wanted to pack in as much as I possibly could. And being a garment maker, I was looking for very specific things in a garment pattern that I wasn't really finding in quilt coat patterns that were specifically designed for quilted clothing. So I went back and forth and thought, oh, I'll find it eventually. And then just ultimately came to the realization I can write my own pattern. I know how to do this. I've been doing it for years. And so my quilt coat was born. It didn't have a name for several years. It went through several different reiterations before I was really happy in what I landed on. So in the basic coat, which is this one, in your Bella coat, it's going to come with two views. It's going to have a view A, which is this one right behind me. It's going to have a contrasting collar, and I'm actually wearing an A. So a contrasting collar, a contrasting sleeve, a yoke front, a yoke back, and then a main fabric is going to run down it. So it's your opportunity in view A just to show off two different kind of fabrics. It's a little bit more sporty than view B. I love it. Gives me a little bit of length, and I love that I get to incorporate as many fabrics as possible. So view B is going to be this gorgeous jacket right here. Both of these feature the new floral reef that is shipping to stores in April of 2026, spring 2026.
Yeah.
And View B is just one fabric. It's a really great opportunity to show off a favorite fabric that maybe you've had living on your shelves for a while, something that you have yardage that you really want to, put to great use. If you don't want to cut it up into small pieces and make it into a quilt, it's a great way to really put that fabric to use and really just show that off. Both are going to
Quick
have
question. Quick
yeah,
question.
please.
Sorry to
No, great.
interrupt you. So the Bella coat that you're
Yeah.
talking about, the very first time you made it, did you make it out of solids and just do, well, I don't mean solids. I mean like just maybe two fabrics or three fabrics, and then you leveled up?
So no, Sharon,
Okay.
you know me. I'm going to dive right in. The love is
Okay,
in
all
the
right.
details for me. I did start with several muslin test versions, and I talk about what a muslin is in the pattern. Basically, it's a practice version. It's a practice version so that you can determine your ideal fit. Where does everything land? Do you want to lengthen your coat? Do you want to shorten your coat? Did you select the right size when you were measuring for your body? So in my coat, it's going to have an actual body measurements, which is what we're going to do as garment makers. For my non-garment makers, this is going to be a smidge of education. You're going to measure your actual body, and then you're going to use the body measurements chart that I provide for you in the pattern. There's also an illustrated points and an illustrated croquis, a line art body figure in the pattern. It's going to show you exactly where to measure. And you're going to take a big 3 measurement. So that's going to be your bust, your waist, and your hip. Based upon those 3, you're going to land into your size chart. So I do let you know in the pattern, if you're not sure on your size, make a muslin. I make a muslin to this day for every single garment that I make first. It's really my opportunity to make sure I'm pleased with the fit. I'm happy with where everything landed. I didn't want to make any other adjustments. I'm very short, as you know, so a lot of time I have to shorten things. Sometimes I want to extend my sleeves because I'm going to roll them up on purpose. There's just lots of different opportunities. So the very first one that I made was a muslin, and I went through lots and lots of versions of it to make sure I was really, really pleased with it. The next thing I was going to say about the coats is that there's no binding in them. That was one of the things that I arrived at. Making my muslin was binding adds bulk, and I wanted to be really comfortable in my clothing and my garment. I reign from Northeast Ohio. I'm originally from Des Moines, Iowa, so I'm a Midwest gal, but I've been in Ohio for about 2 decades now. So Northeast Ohio gets brutally cold. So I know I was going to wear all my big fuzzy, comfy sweaters, everything else underneath. And I'm never the same size after the holidays as I am before, as I'm sure many of us can relate to. So making a muslin really just allowed me to lock into that ideal fit, and figure out without the binding, where do I want that ease? So ease is what is built into a garment, that allows us to be comfortable while we're wearing our garment. That's going to be our design ease. That is not the seam allowance. That's the design ease. It's added to a pattern block, also called a pattern piece, by the pattern author, by the designer, that will include all of those things. So you will see in my finished measurements that there is design ease built in. You're going to get 6 inches in your chest and your hip, and you're going to get 14 inches in your waist. Females, we tend to carry our body measurements, our contours tend to change around our waist a little bit more. So I'm giving you a little bit more room to be comfortable. I also found that that's where my clothes tend to gather, and that's where they tend to sit if I'm sitting down. So more room in the waist. So that's the designies. So no binding in the coat whatsoever, which is really great. I love binding, has a great, suitable purpose for lots of things. But for me in bulk as a garment maker, I knew that binding was just going to add to that. And I really just wanted to be comfortable while I was moving. The Bella coat's going to include a zipper guard. The zipper guard's fully functional. It can be made either from your main fabric, as you can see in the one that I'm wearing, or from your lining. This jacket's lined in the 108 sateen free fall. Tula Pink makes the most gorgeous sateen fabrics. I just love her 108s. The new in the new reorderable catalog, there's 4 different colorways of them, and they go with everything I can think of.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. And they're just really silky, so they're great when I slip them on. Fun fact, I did make one of my coats and lined it with Minky. I am asked about that frequently, so I wanted to give a little pro tip. If you're going to line with Minky, go ahead and jump up 1 size, just because that Minky is going to be so warm and luxurious. Like, it's great and it's soft to the touch, but it is going to give you a little bit of bulk because it's a heavier fabric. So definitely jump up a size in that. There's going to be inseam pockets. So inseam pockets on my coat. The reason for that is I am such a pocket girl. I love my pockets to be super duper functional, and I did not want it to cover up my usable space in order to show off all of the things that I love to show off.
Genius. I love that.
Yeah. So that's the reason that they're inseam pockets. It's very, very straightforward in the pattern as to how to put those in. I keep everything straight seams for you. Basically, if you've ever done the slightest bit of a curve, if it happens to be in a quilt block, perhaps you've made a bag and you rounded your edges, you can absolutely do this. Your curves are going to be in 2 places. You're going to find one in your sleeve cap, which is your sleeve. Sleeve cap is just a little bit more of a technical definition for the top of our sleeve, but you're going to find that in your sleeve, and you're going to have the slightest hint of curve in your collar. Your collar is either going to be a stand or a fall. And the reason for that is based upon the weather here and based upon where I'm bundling up and zipped up. I like to have my stand collar up. It absolutely falls down and it looks awesome because then you get to show off that fabric on the inside.
Mhm.
So, whew, I went over the coat. Some of the things that I wanted to talk about that I've included for leveling up, and I'm going to actually grab the gray work coat behind me. Gray work is in stores now. Go and grab it. Go visit your local quilt shop. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. I'm so excited to finally share this coat with everyone. So the gray work coat, actually, I'm going to stand and let you and move this into the shot so that we can see it. Okay. So this gray work coat is going to feature two things that are going to give me the opportunity to level up. So the first is going to be the accent sleeve. So the accent sleeve, as you can see, is this awesome foundation paper piece set in portion to the sleeve that's here. And this is what the accent sleeve pattern looks like. If you have followed me for a little while, you're going to recognize that jacket right there, that coat. That was one of my Roar coats that I actually made for one of my influencer projects. So it was just an opportunity for me to show off a little bit of space, really use more fabric. As I said before, my love is in the details. I have never met a situation where I'm like, no, less is more. I am a more is more is more maker. That's okay if you're not. That's totally okay. And I appreciate that and I understand that. For me, I absolutely want to pack in as much of a punch as possible and show off these gorgeous fabrics. So this is one of the sleeves that you're going to get in the accent sleeves pack. We did a deep dive on that video from October 4th and talked about all 10 of those, and we showed those on the screen. So I encourage you to go back and check that out so that way you can see all 10. But in that pattern, you're going to get 5 versions of flying geese, and you're going to get 5 versions of braided blocks. They range in terms of difficulty, and I don't mean difficulty in terms of one is more difficult than the other. It's really more time. The pattern is designed for someone that's brand new to foundation paper piecing, or someone that has a foundation paper piecing background. All of my patterns with by Annie are going to include add-on videos. So you can learn how to foundation paper piece, learn everything that you're going to need in the toolkit. They're tools that I love. So I'm going to share them with you, and let you know what those are. In that foundation toolkit, but those are going to all be in there. So that way you can learn how to do that. But don't we just love that? I'm sorry, but I love a rainbow.
Yeah.
I
No,
love a
I
rainbow.
mean, Elissa, I've told you this before. I mean, you're a very skilled maker,
Oh,
and
thank you,
to
Sharon.
see the sleeve and to see, the front and the back of your jackets, it's just astounding. The workmanship is amazing. So
Oh, thank you so much.
very
That's so
nice.
kind.
I mean, it's
Well,
it's great. As makers, we love and we're inspired by this. So tell us more.
I'm passionate to say the least, and I truly do mean it. I want everyone to be as passionate about it as I am and go out into their community, into the world and say, like very just proudly, like loudly and proudly, yes, I made that and I have a
Okay.
skill and I'm very good at what I do and that's wonderful. And thank you. I made it, right?
Right,
Not being self-deprecating with ourselves, but when someone says, "Oh my gosh, I love that. Did you make it?" Our answer
right,
is, "Thank you. Yes, I did." And that's
right,
it, right?
right,
That's
right.
it. So it's just your
Exactly.
opportunity to get to show off this amazing skill that you have as a maker.
Right.
That's part of my why is to inspire people,
Mhm.
to inspire other makers to believe in themselves, to give yourself permission to fail. This went through lots of variations before I was happy with the size of it and the scale of it and how they were going to work together and the options that I really wanted to give makers. And to make sure that you would find something that you liked to really give you an opportunity to level something up. You don't have to put this in here at all. It's absolutely optional. It's just, another fun opportunity. If you love the foundation paper piece as much as I do, why not do it?
Right.
They don't just have to be for sleeves. I encourage you to throw them onto your bags, put them on an existing garment that you already have,
Oh,
make it
yeah.
into, make a quilt border. It's a
Yeah.
great way. Like if you have a quilt that's like maybe 60 by 60 and you want it a little bit larger, put this
Right.
on all the way around. And
Right.
now you've got something great.
So,
So
Alyssa, the sleeve that you're wearing on the jacket you have, is that pattern also in
So
the
it is not. So that's a great question. So it is not in that pattern. The reason for that is this turned into definitely an advanced adventure and advanced
Yeah.
foray into one of the versions that
Yep.
I made. And
Yep.
I thought, not for this round, maybe another round.
Yeah.
Never
It's
know.
beautiful.
You never
Yep.
know. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I really wanted someone to be able to open the pattern and say, I'm brand new, but I want to have the confidence to do this and I want to believe in myself. And even though we want to do all of the things like right away,
Right.
as an educator, I believe in taking those stair steps and really building that skill level to get there because all of a sudden you look back and you're like, how did I never not know that? Right? How
Right.
was I a novice? How was I a beginner at some point? Well, we all were, right?
Right. Right.
I will have only been sewing for 15 years come April. So I
Wow.
started as an adult. My kids were young and I took a couple sewing lessons and I just absolutely fell in love. And I just
Oh,
thought, you know what? That it lights me up in all of the ways, all of the, my dance background. I was a dancer growing up. And I spent many years in beautiful costumes and just marveled over, the gorgeous work that everyone was doing. And it was just really an opportunity for me to get out there and be creative and do all the things.
I love
Okay,
hearing
so
that story, Alyssa. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I love hearing that story because I think a lot of times people think that if you didn't start sewing when you were 5, you can't do it. So
oh
that's not
no,
true. You can definitely start at, any age and,
absolutely.
come into the art of, sewing garments, quilting, whatever it is people want to do, bags, whatever,
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really powerful to remind everyone like we all started somewhere. We're all
Right,
beginners.
right.
Um, it teaching absolutely lights me up, but what is better than that is watching the look on a student's face or someone that was in a workshop or an aha moment.
Hmm.
That is really like the best gift for me. I was treated as such a warm welcome at market and festival, and I had the opportunity to meet so many people, and that maybe I knew from behind a screen. I recognized a face, I recognized a name, but I also had students that were like, "Hey, we came, to Houston for festival, and we saw you were here," and it's such an opportunity
Awesome.
to get
Yeah.
to, create and just take that to the next level and give someone a big hug and be like, oh my gosh, and they're carrying something that they made in class or they're wearing something that they made in class or they share with me that they went and shared it at their guild or their local quilt shop. One of the most rewarding things for me is that I've recently had a couple of students that let me know when I started teaching a couple of years ago that they are going to start teaching now. And that is just, I think, the coolest thing like on the planet. I just think that's
Right.
the coolest.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, got off track.
I
So the
know, I'm
last one,
sorry. I
no,
derailed
no,
you.
I love it. So the last one we're going to talk about to level up your coat is because you've been staring at it, right? Is this
Yes.
Arcs and Beauties. So this is the Bella Arcs and Beauties. The coat that you see in the gray work is the one that I'm going to actually show. The other one that's over here on the pattern cover is the one that I'm wearing. I want to remind everyone that part of my influencer tour and all of that is that I have gobs of pictures that are on social media. So you're welcome to please go and check those out. Be inspired by them, take them back, make them your own. So I'm giving you something very, very light and bright here, and then something a little bit more grounded with some color. But it really, I think, is just a testament to the fact that, it's about the color and it's about the artistry and it's about what you can do with fabric because the color totally changes the vibe of
Mhm.
what you have going on.
Mhm. Can you
So,
just spin it? Oh, sorry. I was
no,
going to
go
ask
ahead.
you to spin it and show us the
Yeah.
back, but I don't
So
want to
on the
rush you.
no, so I'm going to go to the front first and then we'll spin to the back. How does that
Okay,
sound?
all right.
Okay, so on the very front of it is going to be one of the three versions of these beauty blocks. So this is the one that's going to take the most time. It's not any more difficult than the other two, but it's going to take the most time because you have these flying geese that are running through it, as well as a wide arc. You're also going to get a pattern for just wide arcs, which is your quickest, and then narrow arcs. And then the narrow arcs are, right in between. It's kind of like that porridge is too hot, porridge is too cold, porridge is just right.
Right,
Yeah, right in between. You're also going to get the template so that we can fussy cut all these beautiful motifs here.
Yeah.
And then you can see all of my offcut pieces actually came from this one. So in the pattern,
Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and walk you through exactly how to, apologies for that. We're going to walk you through exactly how to take those motifs, how to interface them, give them loft. That way they don't sink into your
right,
quilted coat. Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So this is the
Oh,
back. So this
look
is going
at
to be the
that.
grand arcs. I
Wow.
love her. Flying geese. I love
Amazing.
flying geese. It's such a great opportunity, to show off different fabrics. Something that I want to encourage you to think outside of the box is a different way to level up is just because there happens to be a line there doesn't mean that you necessarily have to sew on that line, right? So
Right.
think about that. You could put a solid fabric here. You could
Right.
omit this and make your template larger. You could do just maybe two rings. You could do two here.
Hmm.
I had someone that recently told me I'm not interested in making a garment. Also, totally cool. But she said, but I
Mhm.
want to put that on a wall hanging. And I'm so excited I got your
Ah,
pattern. And I was like, that's awesome. Right.
right. Right.
So you could take piece parts of it. You could take just a couple parts of it, a couple of arcs of it, and I could put that, somewhere else,
Right.
somewhere here if I just wanted to have a little bit peek out. So
Right.
I'm going to show, so this is the back of this one. And then you can see the back of the one that I'm wearing
Wow.
and just kind of what
Amazing.
color does.
Right.
All
Wow.
right. So yeah,
Amazing.
so that's the Bella quilt coat. The coat itself stands on its own and you get 10 different sizes. Remember, and no, I do not expect anyone to take a tape measure into their quilt shop and measure their body while they're there. But on the back of that, and you're going to find this information on byandy.com, it's going to have actual body measurements. So measure your body, bust, waist, hip, okay? And
Hmm.
then if you fit into that range, the designees is already built into the pattern for you, and the finished measurements are going to be inside your instructional booklet. The accent sleeves and the arcs and beauties are foundation paper pieced. More information, because we went over all the details, are going to be in that video from October 4th. The very last one, I'm going to be quick about this one because I know we did a deep dive on this one on the video too, is backpack straps and pockets. This, I took my three favorite Buy Any bags. I love to make a Buy Any bag. Took my three favorite Buy Any backpack patterns, added some foundation paper piecing to them because of course I did, and gave you a great opportunity to show off a focal. So this is the new gray work. This is called the Out and About. So you're going to get the front template. You're going to get the front pocket and the template for that. And then you're also going to get these padded straps,
Wow. Look at
flying
that.
geese.
Very
It was
nice.
super fun. Your geese can fly down, they can fly up, they can fly one way or the other. I am not a flying geese police, right? It's your bag. I want you to get creative and do what you want with it. Also did one for courtside, and that's on the side pocket.
Wow. Beautiful.
And this is the new floral reef, and see these geese are flying up.
Very nice.
And
Wow.
one for leader of the pack. This is my favorite. I probably made six of these at this point,
Oh,
just because
wow.
I love how this bag comes together.
Yeah.
And I really decided to put all the punch and the color on those
You sure
straps.
did. Look at that.
So fun. I love it.
Amazing. Wow. You make those fabrics sing.
But I mean, they just kind of call to me. All I do is cut them and sew them together, right? I'm just the person putting them together. I'm not the one dreaming them up. So yeah.
Wow, I know. Tula does beautiful, beautiful artwork and fabric, and I'd love to have makers like you that make it sing even louder, right?
Thank you so much. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So, all right, so you have these four patterns that you've just
Yes.
shared with us. So thank you for sharing them. They are beautiful and it's very
Oh,
inspiring. Um, where can we get them? Where can we
oh,
buy
okay.
these patterns?
I had to take a drink of water. I'm trying to get so much better with my water.
I know, me too.
Okay. So the patterns are going to be available. They are on order. I believe they are shipping out to international distributors as well. So you're going to be able to get them for all of my retailers. Check with your distributors. So if you're a retailer, I'm talking to you. Check with your distributors, and you can order them there. Also, if you have a byanny.com wholesale account, you can order them via wholesale at byanny.com. For all of my consumers, all of my fellow makers, check your local quilt shop. We sold out at market and festival, so they went out into the world at market. I know that people got them. I've been hearing that people are already making them up and cutting them up, and I'm so excited about that. So check with your local quilt shop. Those are actively shipping from distributors and from byanny.com to your local quilt shops. If you don't have a local quilt shop, or if your local quilt shop is not currently carrying my patterns in their store, please ask for them.
That's
You can
right.
also visit byanny.com and purchase them directly. The arcs and beauties and the accent sleeves are in, as well as the backpack straps and pockets are available right now at byanny.com. The Bella quilt coat, because it went on such a run. Again, I'm so incredibly humbled and grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone for your interest and for your patronage and your support. This will be back in stock to ship to the general public on November 12th of
Oh,
2025.
well, that's
So
not too long. That's
it's
not
not
too
too
long.
long. It's
Yeah.
not just, one more week to go.
You're
So
worth
yeah,
the
so
wait, Alyssa.
yeah.
You're worth the wait.
Oh, well, the tip that I'm giving is there is a certain point if you want to level it up and add on these other two pieces to your coat. I always start with making my arcs and beauties first because this takes me the most time, right?
Hmm.
And then I'm
Right.
going to make my accent sleeve because once we get to the coat, I'm going to tell you, okay, we did these things. If you want to add all of those extras or any other piecework or applique of your own choosing, you're going to stop now. And now is when you're going to add that. Okay.
Right.
So if you already have it and it's pieced, you're just like, okay, great. I can just go grab that off of my, my workspace or pull that out of my cubby or, my project, my project folder or whatever it was stored in. And then you're ready to go. You can just continue to sew your coat. So if you're
Right.
looking for something to do, that's a great opportunity is, to grab those now.
So this is awesome. Love everything you've shared with us. I know that you have a website. It's called
Yes.
quiltingelissa.com. What can we find if we go there?
Oh my gosh, all the things. I have a ton of pictures for inspiration. I'm constantly posting about, what I have because my aim is to inspire other makers. Even if it's just go take a look through. So that's what you're going to find under the Get Inspired tab.
Mhm.
Under the Get Creative tab is going to be a full schedule of all of my teaching and lecturing around the country. If you don't see something up there yet, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that we haven't let the cat out of the bag yet
Mhm.
between myself and the event host to open up those registrations. So you will be seeing Bella Quilt Coat workshops and events popping up.
Nice.
Um, but that's the best way to find something. If you're a shop and you're looking for, an educational opportunity, if you're looking at your programming, you can reach out to me via my website and submit more information so I can get to know a little bit more about your shop, a little bit more about who you are, a little bit more about your retreat center, just to make sure that we're a great fit for each other.
Hmm.
Um, my instruction ranges from 1 day to 3 days, so single day to multi-day event, as well as lectures. Some of the events I'm doing, three-part lectures all in one day, morning, noon, and night. Some are, tagged up as part of the event itself. So we're going to have all of the Get Creative. So Get Creative is going to be my schedule for teaching. Get Inspired is going to be lots of places that you can go and see some inspiration. I do have a blog when I need to get really in depth and I want to give a little bit more information about what I'm making. So you can check that out there. There's also going to be an opportunity to meet me, learn a little bit more about me. I talk about my background in sewing, why I love to create, why I love to teach, a little bit about my family. And then there's also going to be an opportunity for media and other things that are there. You will find direct links under the catalog. It will say shop. You cannot buy directly from me, but it will have all the information on those patterns and it will absolutely link you directly out to where you can purchase those at buyany.com.
That's awesome. So I have two questions for you before we sign off.
Okay.
Okay. One of them we didn't talk about, so it's gonna be a little bit of a surprise. So if I wanted to
Ooh.
make this quilt coat, and you didn't talk about the zippers, but if I wanted to make it and I've never done a zipper before, can I make it and not use the zipper? Or do you have any tips about the zipper that would make inserting it very, very easy?
So I actually go over that in depth in my pattern. I'm going to grab them. So, um, as a garment maker, the zipper choices have been limited in terms of what you can get for color, what you can get for length, and shortening a metal zipper is a super pain if you
It
haven't done
is.
it
It
before.
is. Yeah.
So with the byanny.com team, we dreamed up a 50-inch separating zipper. So it's separating, which is great. It's going to be your Byanny zipper tape that you know and love, signature extra large zipper pull. It's nylon, so you can sew through it. You can cut through it and shorten it super simply.
Can you show
It
them to us again,
Yeah,
Alyssa?
absolutely. They come in 14 colors, in the 14 colors that match the Byanny mesh and fold over elastic. This is
Mhm.
lipstick. And as you can see, the tape is nice and wide, so you're going to get lots of room to sew on that. and you
Right.
can just sew straight through those nylon teeth. The other great thing about those is that it's not going to discolor, it's not going to rust, it's not going to bleed onto your fabrics or do anything like that.
Right.
It's 50 inches because we're all different heights. So
Right.
that way the pattern will go over in depth as to how to measure it. There are alignment lines that you will measure that specifically when you're transferring all of your markings and notches on your pattern pieces.
Hmm.
And then that extra portion that's left over, we're giving you an extra zipper slide in that package. So that way you can just pop it onto that slide and you can put it in another project of your choice. So yeah, so those are the zippers. If you don't want to include a zipper, and you want some type of closure, I went with a zipper because when you're going through quilted layers, especially if I'm going to be doing any of this extra stuff here, there
Hmm.
is bulk that if I'm going to be using my buttonhole on a sewing machine for all my garment makers, sometimes your buttonhole doesn't really want to be friends, right?
Right. Right.
Especially
Exactly.
when you're going through bulk. So that was my reasoning for the non on the buttonholes. Other options would be there are those toggle clasps,
Yeah.
where you can it has the loop on
The
one
loop. Yeah.
side and it
Yeah.
has that like wooden button, I believe, on the other that you could sew on. That would be a really nice
Right.
opportunity to do it. You don't have to close it. I will zip mine up if it's snowing on me and I'm out and about. But if you see me like around, it's unzipped or it's partially zipped up.
Right. Right.
So you don't have to put a zipper on it, certainly, if that's not a skill that you're like, I really want to tackle that. But I will promise you that I spent a lot of time in the add-on video and in the pattern to make it
Perfect.
very user friendly, and just a nice, enjoyable process where you can build a skill you might not have.
Yeah. So I asked that for that reason because I wouldn't want anyone to be afraid to, get the pattern and try to tackle it if they're afraid of a zipper. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And the fact
yeah,
that you have a video or you're going to have a video and you go in depth is wonderful because I
yeah.
know that you and Annie do wonderful videos and you will teach us every step of the way. And then
Thank
my
you.
last question, which
Yeah.
I think is easy, well, maybe it could be hard.
Okay. I'm a
Is your
little
sewing
nervous.
room always that clean? That's what I really want to know. Is
Actually, yes.
it? Oh my gosh.
I know people don't like to hear that. So I am just for as crazy and out and loud as as my work is and as my pieces are. Really for me, the key to a project and enjoying every single step of it, staying focused, producing something I know that I'm going to love starts with my plan and preparation. And if you are a student, if you're a student of mine, you have heard this until like I'm blue in the face, right?
Right.
Plan and prepare, get organized, stay organized. And the reason for that is because it just allows me to move through my steps and it's more enjoyable for me. That doesn't
Mhm.
mean that has to be everyone's, approach to it, but for me, I love a clean space. I have a better visual of what I see in my head, bringing it to life, in that fabric or in that project, on that bag, on that coat, in that quilt. Um, the cleaner my space is and the tidier it is, the better visual I have to really just hone in and stay focused and stay true to what that vision
Right.
looks
And
like.
probably way less mistakes, right? Because you're not like digging through stuff to find stuff.
Yeah. You know what though? I still have plenty of my fair share of mistakes. I've got my Tula Pink seam ripper. It's my favorite notion. I've got one at every single station, anywhere that I'm at. It's in all of my travel bags, all of my stuff that I'm traveling with. Because I'm gonna make a mistake. I'm not perfect. I don't ever want to be perfect. I'm not human if I'm perfect, right? And
Right.
I might aim for it. I might aim for it. I'll be honest.
Right.
But I'm never gonna be perfect. So I will absolutely make a mistake. I don't hesitate to pull out my seam ripper, and do it again. I have so
Right.
many orphan blocks and so many orphan pieces for that very reason.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Alyssa, thank you for sharing all of this with us. It's been a lot of fun. I always
Thank
enjoy
you.
talking to you. You know that. I mean,
I
I
do as well.
personally do, but we at Free Spirit love you and we love everything that you do. So thank you and keep on creating. Um, so again, if you're interested in any of these four patterns that Alyssa has developed and introduced to us as makers, you can find them at your local quilt shop or you can go to buyany.com. And you said you're also with distributors, so you'll be shipping globally as well.
Yes, so all of the distributors have their patterns on order, and they're going out. Bienni is also an opportunity, as a distributor, if you have a Bienni wholesale account, if you're a retailer, you can absolutely get them there too. So I do know that they're shipping. I do know that some made their way back to Australia because there was, a shop or two that was at market. So I apologize that it takes so long to get everything shipped out, that I'm on the opposite side of the world, but I can't wait to see what you make
I
and what you dream up.
know.
And
I know. I can't
yeah.
wait to see what everybody does. So if you haven't made a quilted coat yet, Elissa is our reason to be inspired to do so. Yes,
Aw, thanks,
looks
Sharon.
awesome. So, all right. Well, I think we're all set. I hope I remembered to say everything I was supposed to say. If anyone has any questions about Free Spirit, you can go to freespiritfabrics.com and you can find fabrics and inspiration there as well. So, Elissa, thank you for joining us. It's great
Thank
to
you so
see
much,
you.
Sharon. A special thanks to Free Spirit for having me as a part of the Circle of Makers. I absolutely love it. Super duper special thanks to Tula Pink and everyone at Team Tula. I adore you. Thank you for keeping me inspired. And to the entire team at Bienni.com for this collaboration, for all of our laughter and our teamwork. I'm having the time of my life. So thank you
Uh-huh.
so much. I really
That's
appreciate it.
wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, Elissa, and thank you to everyone that tuned in today.
All right. Bye.
Bye.